Hey guys, happy Friday. Yes, finally Friday. And welcome to the Fox 5 Live Zone. You're probably all smiles just like myself. That typically happens on a Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Guy Lambert. Coming up on the show today, it's the countdown to the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. We'll get you the very latest right here on the Live Zone. Hey, speaking of the latest, the countdown also on to the Commanders taking on the Dolphins in Madrid, Spain. Chad Ricardo's there, and we're going to get a report from him as to what is happening at this very moment. If it's dealing with Chad, I guarantee you it's filled with plenty of excitement. And have you heard about the new pop sensation, Ashley Keating? Yes, it is all things cool, all things good, and she has a brand new song that she will unveil right here on the Live Zone. All that and more coming up on the show today as we take a live look at the White House. You talk about a picture-perfect day. Partly sunny, if you like it cool, that's exactly what it will be. We'll top out in the mid to upper 50s. All right, happening now, police are arresting several people at protests outside an ICE detention facility near Chicago. Take a look at this. Protesters allege that this Broadview facility is keeping detainees in inhumane conditions. This is a developing situation. We've been following this for the past hour or so, and we'll keep a close eye on this throughout the afternoon right here on the Live Zone. And as federal workers return to work, we have new details on when they could start receiving paychecks again. Bet you they got a lot of folks' attention. This after the longest government shutdown in U.S. history ended earlier this week. The first wave of federal workers could start receiving payments Sunday. The Trump administration hopes to have back paychecks issued to all federal workers by next Wednesday. By the way, the Federal Aviation Administration announced plans to maintain a 6% cut to flights as airports work to recover from the aftermath of the government shutdown. That order was initially placed last week after an increase in controller call-outs. It's unclear when the order will be lifted. Airlines still expect a record Thanksgiving travel period starting next week. Now to a Fox 5 News alert. President Donald Trump says he will ask Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's ties to many other high-profile figures, including some of his perceived political opponents. Again, blasting Democrats following the release earlier this week of emails from the late Epstein that will mention him. The president stating, quote, "Now that the Democrats are using the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try to deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures, I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, JP Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him." The president has sought to dismiss questions over Epstein for months, pressuring Republicans to block a discharge petition in the U.S. House, forcing a vote on the release of the Justice Department's Epstein's files. In the meantime, show me the money. That's the case for a number of federal employees who, yet again, are expected to start receiving their back pay as early as this weekend. And SNAP food aid will also be restored on Monday. Joining us now to discuss this and so much more is Elnora Allen, founder and president of Proposal Lab LLC, an accomplished entrepreneur, business leader, and recognized expert in government contracting. Miss Allen, good to see you again. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me again. Good to see you.
A bit different this time. Last time when you were on the show, it was the Halloween show, and I think I had somewhat of a little high top thing going on.
You had a little fade going on.
Well, this is the real me. So, and we're glad we have the real you as well. A lot of folks now smiling from ear to ear. We know that the government shutdown now officially over. You heard me make mention of show me the money. That money should start rolling out as early as this week. However, it's going to take quite some time for folks to really get back on the saddle, as they say.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. This is a huge shock to our economy. As you know, the government spending drives about 35% of our economy. And so as the largest employer of a little less than 3 million people and 100,000 contractors, that's a huge impact to the operation. So in terms of stabilizing, it will take some time.
Yesterday, we saw the Secretary of Homeland Security handing out checks to the tune of some $10,000 to TSA employees that showed up and showed out during the government shutdown, meaning they showed up every day without missing a day.
Yeah.
It's great to get that $10,000 check. It's great to get that back pay. But yet again, there are hundreds of thousands of others who will not get that $10,000, but they're still supposed to move, well, all full steam ahead. It's going to be harder to do just that without that $10,000 check.
Yeah, that was a nice motivation, and I'm glad that those employees were recognized, because they should have been. They made so many sacrifices to show up to work, and I'm hoping that there will be additional funds that are given to the other employees as well. It's only fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that here in the DMV, we have a number of federal workers that not only live within the district lines, but obviously Prince George's County in Maryland and Northern Virginia as well. Talk about the impact this had overall, specifically making mention to the DMV, focusing on that.
Yeah, in the DMV, you know, most of the employees here work for the government, so there was a huge impact. As we know, the numbers of 1.4 million people were impacted. Half of those were furloughed, half of those were working without pay. And so we see that the impact throughout real estate, throughout jobs that are in the DMV right now. And so it's been a huge impact.
So what happens now? And I know you don't have that crystal ball sitting right there in front of you, but that's what so many folks want to focus on. How long will it take for all of us to get back on track? And what do you predict? You know,
that's a really good question. And of course, everybody is wondering that. What I'm telling folks is, and I'll tell you, after we came here the last time, for the last 2 weeks, we've had people calling our phone, reaching out to us on the website, because they want to have someone they can trust to help them navigate this complexity. So what I've been telling people is to stay focused and stay flexible, and helping them with their pivot plans. And so that's what we're encouraging people to do, to stretch into new communities, new partnerships, to find those new opportunities.
Yeah. As one who knows all things surrounding government contracting, I'm curious, how did the shutdown affect you, and will it continue to have an effect on you sometime in the near future?
It did affect us, especially since the government shut down and all the contract activities absolutely slowed down. But again, I had to make a move, and I made a move fast. And so that's what we're here for, and we've been helping people to take those same next steps.
Yeah. When you say helping people take those steps, walk me through that. Give me an example of someone watching right now. One of our viewers is saying, you know what, perhaps I'm that person that needs that help. I want to take that first step. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. So what people have done is reached out to us and asked us, you know, this is where we are. We're not sure if this is the right place for us to move, and we don't know where the next place is to move. So we've helped them think through that, assess their resources, their capabilities, and figure out where is the opportunity for them. What we're telling people is follow the opportunity. Don't look at the government and think that there's going to be growth across the agencies, because that's not the case.
Yeah. Furthermore, if we look at the calendar, come January 30th, guess what? We might find ourselves right back in the middle of yet again another government shutdown. How does one prepare for that, knowing that it could happen sometime in the near future, but I'm still trying to recover from what just happened?
Right, and we have about, 76 days until that happens. And so what we've learned from this is nothing is certain. Everything is uncertain. And so to develop a plan is what we're helping our clients do. Large businesses, entrepreneurs, even individuals who have reached out and said, hey, I've lost my job. I'm in this industry and I might need to pivot to another industry. What do we do next? That's what we're helping them do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am taking a trip tomorrow. I have to fly out of town very briefly. And I'm not nervous, but I'm concerned. No one wants to get stranded. And as we know, it's slowly getting back to normal. Folks that are perhaps staying right here in the nation's capital, maybe they will visit a museum, because guess what? They're now reopened yet again.
Yeah.
Businesses are going to start coming back slowly but surely. Do you expect to see an influx of folks, let's say, making their way to the museums to enjoy what was shut down for so long?
I think so. I mean, I think that's something that's critical to our area, and people take advantage of that. It's great to be able to go to the museums and they don't have to pay for it, which is the best part about it, right? So I think since we've been down for 43 days and the zoo's been closed and museums, people will take advantage of that.
Yeah. Well, one thing is for sure, they need to take advantage of you in the way of getting some great information. Folks that want to find out more about you, how would one go about to do so?
They can reach out to me on our website, theproposallabllc.com. Go to our contact us page, fill that out, or you can call us at 202-838-3600. 3006.
Absolutely love it. Yet again, Elnora Allen, founder and president of Proposal Lab LLC. We truly appreciate you joining us right here on the Live Zone. Well, guys, if it's happening and it's happening now, we are taking you there. In this case, all the way up the road from I-95 to New York, where the UN Security Council now meeting. Let's go ahead and take a live look in.
Japan would like to emphasize the importance of further efforts by the Council to achieve a more transparent process than ever before, adhering to the resolution on the revitalization of the work of the General Assembly adopted this September. Japan would also like to strongly recommend the current and incoming Council members refer to the identical letter issued by Ambassador Besho Koro, Japan's permanent representative at the time, which shares the lessons learned from his experience serving as a president of the Council in July 2016, when the process of selecting the next Secretary General last took place. I believe this insightful letter will serve as a good basis for discussions in the Council to further enhance transparency, inclusivity, and predictability of the process. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Japan for the statement, and I'll give the floor to the representative of Romania.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I also would like to thank the briefers as they provided not only with a historical background and the relevance of the working methods of this body, but they also provided recommendations and solutions on how to overcome problems such as the Council operating without appointing chairs of subsidiary bodies, which is an experience that we deem to remain unique. The previous debate on the working methods, about 18 months ago in March 24, I emphasized 3 points that I think are still valid today. The first one is the need for an increased dialogue between the Security Council and the General Assembly, the relevance of the Security Council field trips, and the third one, a wide range of voices in the Council meetings that need to be heard. On the increased dialogue between the Security Council and the General Assembly, the upcoming months, I think, are critical with the election of the new Secretary General, which is going to be high on the agenda. And the first test, I think, is the joint letter that the President of the General Assembly and the President of the Security Council will need to issue in order to initiate formally the process of the selection. The conversations we had in the wider membership in the context of the negotiations on the new revitalization resolution have demonstrated the importance and the increased interest for further advancing interinstitutional cooperation. The partnership between the General Assembly and the Security Council is essential on a number of topics, particularly on the maintenance of international peace and security and on the selection of the Secretary General. And I would see this relationship as a complementarity. It is not a competition, it is not something that undermines the confidence, but it's exactly the opposite. We agreed together recently to commit to more openness and transparency in the work of the Security Council, as enshrined in Article 24(1) of the UN Charter, and we trust the new commitments for consolidating interaction and collaboration between the two main organs will reflect the potential the UN has when it works in complementarity rather than in silos, at a time when it is more important than ever that we deliver together and we restore trust in the overall multilateral architecture. On the relevance of the Council field trips, we welcome the revival of this tradition despite financial constraints. We think that these field trips are very much important. If mandates, including Security Council mandates, are to be reviewed, of course, members of the Security Council need first-hand information before making a decision. We very much welcome, from this point of view, the preparations for the upcoming visit in the Middle East in the next few weeks. Mr. President, the primary responsibility of the Council is the maintenance of international peace and security. And however, wide interest from non-Council members and other actors to attend Council meetings should be viewed as a positive sign of the authority of this body. Exactly as my own delegation requests regularly to speak in the Council under Rule 77 or 39, I think it's important to allow member states to express their views on such important issues. And that's why Rules 37 and 39 of the Provisional Rules of Procedure should be used to ensure such participation in the decision, in the deliberations of the Council, with the decision of the Security Council members, of course. We believe it is in the interest of the Council members to allow parties of interest to present their viewpoints, especially those that are impacted by unfolding events. Acting with transparency and inclusivity, and ensuring the presence of a wide range of voices in the Security Council meeting.
All right, folks, we'll continue to keep a close eye on all things surrounding the UN Security Council happening in New York City. Meanwhile, over in Chicago, I want to bring this up again because it continues to actually gather the attention of so many folks. And we're talking about this ICE facility in Chicago or just outside of Chicago where police are arresting several people at a protest. This is a developing situation, and we saw a number of folks being cuffed and taken away earlier. It appears it has somewhat calmed down, and we'll continue to keep a close eye on that throughout the afternoon right here on the Live Zone. Should anything happen, yet again, we'll take you back to this ICE detention facility outside of Chicago. Well, as the Trump administration and FHFA signal serious interest in creating a 50-year mortgage product to boost affordability, early analysis reveals troubling trade-offs: minimal monthly savings, skyrocketing lifetime interest, and reduced equity growth that could trap families in debt for decades. Joining us to discuss this and so much more is Sophia Hamilton with Young Voices back here on the Live Zone. Sophia, always good to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me back.
Sophia, I got to tell you, when I first heard about it, I gave it a thumbs up. And then I read what you just heard me make mention of, and apparently a lot of folks are crying foul. Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, so right now, housing seems unattainable to so many Americans, especially for my generation. We saw this month numbers come out that the median first-time home buyer is now 40 years old.
Wow.
So we definitely have a housing problem, and I have to give it to Trump for trying to come up with a solution, but I don't think that the 50-year mortgage is the answer, because it's not addressing the core problem that we have with housing in our country, and that's a lack of supply. And so coming up with this way to make housing more affordable will not be hitting that core problem, and really will actually be compounding it, because you're going to increase demand, and it's simple economics.
Wow. I didn't think about it like that. I just figured, let's say a house is $100. If I have a 30-year mortgage, let's say my payment is, I don't know, $3. But if we have a 50-year mortgage, perhaps it would be $1.50. And so the interest or the amount that I would pay on a monthly basis would decrease because the life of the loan happens to be a lot longer. You're saying, yeah, that's a good thing, but wait, there's more. More folks would actually look to purchase a home.
Exactly. So this policy from its face sounds like a good idea, because we're trying to make buying a home more affordable for more Americans, and that's great. But it wouldn't help you in the long run. Your monthly mortgage payment on average would be decreasing about $120 a month, which that's some nice extra pocket change, but that's not going to make a big difference in your life for most people. But where it really gets sticky is the interest that you would pay over the 50-year mortgage would about double. So that house now becomes much more expensive than it does under a 15-year or a 30-year mortgage.
Wow. You know what's interesting, Sophia? At one time, I looked this up, and the root word of mortgage, it's a Latin word, and it means to pay until you die. So the mere fact that a lot of folks are trying to do just that, or happen to be doing just that, and now want to extend it to some 50 years, it's somewhat amusing to me. We should also make mention that Japan, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a 100-year mortgage, and as a result, it really triggered a national real estate collapse. Oh, do tell.
So this happened back in the 1980s. Japan was facing an economic crisis, and so they introduced 50-year and 100-year mortgages that would transfer down through generations. So you could inherit your grandparents' mortgage, and it's really just enslaving them to this debt for life. And it helped lead to their economy collapsing. Their economy was already in a bad place, and that's why they introduced these extremely long-term mortgages like the 100-year mortgage. But that led to more people buying houses, which increased demand, which increased the prices of the housing market. And when that bubble eventually burst, because it's not if it bursts, it's always when, the housing prices plummeted. And so many people were unable to get back the equity that they put in their homes, and they lost out on so much money.
Wow. All right. So not to say that we're the fixers, but let's try to fix it or at least attempt to. In this case, you're stating perhaps it all falls on state and local zoning reform to increasing housing supply. Is that correct?
100%. At its core, housing is a state and local government issue. And I appreciate President Trump and the federal government looking at this, but they really cannot increase the supply, which is the core problem that we're having to meet the rising demand for housing. And so many governments, state and local, restrict where you can build housing, what type of housing you can build, when you can build it, what the housing has to look like. And all of those tiny restrictions make homes so much more unaffordable, so much more expensive, and so much harder to build. And that's part of the reason why our housing costs have skyrocketed. Yeah. We need more types of homes. We need apartments, we need townhomes, we need single family homes. We need options for people that make it affordable and make the American dream come back, where you can buy a home for your family to grow into.
Yeah, well said. We all want a piece of that American dream. And hopefully one day each and every one of us can do just that. Yet again, we've been speaking with Sophia Hamilton. She is with Young Voices and kind enough to join us right here on the Live Zone. Always good to see you, Sophia. Make it a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right,
thanks.
Folks, we'll take a quick break. Hey, on the flip side of that break, Danny Moore King joins us. She's a candidate for state delegate in District 26. What is she talking about? Coffee with the Chiefs. You'll see it next, right here on the Live Zone. All right, folks, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Well, there's a lot of excitement in Prince George's County as Danny Moore King continues to run for delegate in District 26. Now, Danny is considered one of the leading candidates in the race for a number of reasons. Many state she's brilliant, dedicated, and a true woman of the people. Now, tomorrow, from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m., she'll give area residents an opportunity to sound off by spearheading Coffee with the Chiefs, a conversation with no agenda or speeches. She'll be joined by the Prince George's County Police Chief and the Assistant Chief of Police. It all takes place at 138 Waterfront Street at the National Harbor, but don't let me tell it. Danny joins us now, right here on the Live Zone. Good to see you, Danny, and welcome to the show.
Good to see you as well, Guy, and thank you again for having me here on the Live Zone.
You are by far welcome. Danny, this is needed. I know for a fact that a lot has taken place in Prince George's County. There are a lot of folks that want to get a chance to sit down with law enforcement, and you are providing them with that platform. What should we expect tomorrow?
Wow, I think it's going to be a wonderful event. Under the direction of our new county executive, Aisha Brayboy, she has brought in two wonderful chiefs, Chief George Nader, who is the Chief of Police here in Prince George's County, and the Assistant Chief, George Nichols. So we have two Georges here that will be answering questions and talking to the residents of Prince George's County tomorrow. We're excited. Just found out a few minutes ago, actually, Guy, that we are going to be also greeted by the state's attorney, Tara Jackson, tomorrow, and the chair of Prince George's County Council, Chair Edward Burrows, tomorrow. So it is going to be a fun 1 hour between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're excited about it. Illy Cafe has agreed to host us, and they're a wonderful partner of ours down here in National Harbor. So we are totally excited. We're excited to have the conversation with the chief, the county executive, and I'm sorry, the state's attorney, Tara Jackson, and the chair of the county council to talk about public safety tomorrow.
Danny, we were taking a look at the flyer, and one of the things that it states on the flyer is voice your concerns. And I'm curious, what concerns do you think residents have in that immediate area?
Well, one of the concerns that we previously had was the juvenile curfew. So I know that residents are going to want to talk about that. They're also going to want to talk about the crime, and is it coming down up under the direction of the new county executive and the chief of police, and the direction that they are headed in. So for people just to be able to come out and voice those concerns and ask those questions means a lot. A lot of communities don't have chief of police and assistant chief of police that come and do talks to the community. So that means a lot for us. So we're excited here in District 26.
All right, so we know that it's actually taking place yet again from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., but I guess the bigger question is why? Why for you? Why did you feel a need to put all of this together?
I am a big component of public safety. I am married to a former law enforcement officer. My brother also is a former law enforcement officer that just retired on Halloween. So I know how important community policing is, and to be able to have our police a part of the community, love the community, out amongst the community, and be able to have those conversations makes the community feel safe. I know I do. So I want the rest of the residents here in Prince George's County, and specifically District 26, to feel the same way, Guy.
Yeah, and I'm curious, obviously you've had the opportunity to speak with the police chief and the assistant police chief. Do you know what they plan to address? Do they have any concerns themselves, or something top of mind that they would like to discuss with the area residents?
You know, I think they want to have an open conversation. They don't want to just throw out talking points. They want to hear what the constituents are saying. They want to personally hear the concerns that the constituents of Prince George's County and District 26 have. So I think it's going to be a pretty open conversation tomorrow, and I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to stop by. I made mention earlier I have to jet out of town, but I think it's a great thing, and I think folks really need to learn about their surrounding community and who's policing it as well. And so we give you credit and kudos for putting all of this together as we get set for Coffee with the Chiefs. By the way, whoever came up with that title, absolutely love it. It goes hand in hand. Taking place tomorrow from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. Let's go ahead and put it up on the screen there, producer Joey. You get a chance to see it right there from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Danny Moore-King spearheading it. It's all taking place at 138 Waterfront Street at the National Harbor. Do folks need to register for this, Danny, or can they just show up and show out?
No need to register. We welcome the community. Everyone is welcome. Please come out and meet, once again, Chief George Nader, Assistant Chief George Nichols, your state's attorney, Tara Jackson, and the chair of Prince George's County Council, Edward Burrows. We want you all to come out and enjoy everything that District 26 has to offer, even after Coffee with the Chiefs tomorrow morning. Thank you all so kindly, and thanks, Guy, for having me once again.
You bet. Yet again, Danny Moore-King, delegate, running for a delegate, District 26, joining us right here on the Live Zone. Always good to see you, Danny. We'll chat soon.
You as well, Guy. Thank you.
All right, folks, we'll take a quick break. Hey, on the flip side of that break, it's one of the big stories in, well, let's just say pop culture. Have you seen it? This right here. Yeah, this serial gate jumper attacking Ariana Grande. Wow. We'll discuss it next when the Media Prince joins us for a little celebrity dish right here on the Live Zone. All right, folks, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Time for a little Celebrity Dish, live in person in studio. Ladies and gentlemen, royalty is here. This is the Media Prince.
And we are live in the zone.
For real. Hey, by the way, thanks for all that you did over at Bowie State University. That was so cool to be able to have you on, and then the students right behind you as well.
The thank you is to you. You made so many people's dreams come true. Those kids are elated.
Awesome.
They are like, oh my goodness, they're indebted to, they say, I'm indebted to Guy Lambert forever. And you don't realize how many of them watch you anyway. They're like, oh. And then somebody said, that's the guy on the radio, too. I'm like, he's everywhere.
Yeah, half of them, I was probably on the radio when they were born. So that part we'll skip. Hey, you are a busy guy, my friend, hanging out with Wale last night.
Yes, for the State of Black Media panel. Happened at HQ, powered by WABJ and EKT. And it just was surrounded by us and media, discussing our avenues and swings with how we conduct the news, how we say the news, how we get the news out there, the state of it today, how are we liking the new transitions in media, and then from Wale's perspective, how is an artist navigating through black media?
Wow.
And what is his experience like, and how we can help add to that experience or make that experience better in some circumstance. So
one of the things I love about this as I take a look at the pictures, we had a chance to chit-chat earlier, Media Prince, and you said there, once upon a time, you would, ride to school, drive to school, listening to Wale, one day hoping to meet him. Now you're sharing the same stage as him.
It's like a pinch me moment, really. Like, it really lets me know, like, wow, I've arrived. And, the next goal is Beyonce. I'm feeling that somewhere in the universe.
Speaking into existence, my friend.
But it definitely was a humbling, reflective moment of being from here, listening to an artist that was from here, inspiring me in college, and now I'm here with him on the same stage. So it's just like a
good stuff, man. That's what it's all about. And thank you for doing what you do also.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's get into a little Celebrity Dish, shall we? The first story, well, it's been all over the internet. A man crashing the Wicked premiere in Singapore. Now, you've probably seen this not once, but not twice, but 8 million times, because I've watched it that many times. You see the guy right there? Yep. What are you doing, dude? The video shows the man aggressively running up to Ariana Grande when her co-star, you see Cynthia right there, rushes in to protect her. Perhaps she should be the bodyguard there, Media Prince.
Should we rename her Cynthia Mayweather? Or Cynthia Shields? Like, move over Clarissa Shields. There's Cynthia Arriva, okay? Those guns. When I saw the vein pop, I said, oh yeah, she's about to choke this guy. Yeah, security, where is it? And the fact that security was so late, though, is some nasty work. But again, I'm also learning at these movie premieres, sometimes they get the security of that actual premiere. So they may not be as equipped to get there as fast as whereas American security, that ain't happening.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
But thank goodness Cynthia was on the cast with her, because homegirl in the middle was just lost and confused of what was going on. But Cynthia said, not today. But the fact that he does stuff like this and gets sort of like a adrenaline rush out of causing chaos with these celebrities. He's going to meet that one celebrity, i.e. of, let's just say we're going to use Cardi B for an example. You do that to her, you're getting punched, and you're going to get humbled right then and there. So that's all he needs is a good artist that's going to show him, run out here if you want to.
By the way, he plans to plead guilty and faces a fine of up to $1,540. You best believe he's going to pay all of that.
All of that. Yeah. And then some. He probably has whole fun set, and I feel like the viewers of his, too, add to that fun, because he goes live a lot. And, I'm learning. This is how old I'm getting, guys. It's just sad. They on TikTok, when they buy you gifts, and that's money, and he takes that money, and that's his fees to get out of jail. So you have just aided him to jump out on someone else.
Yeah, we do not condone that behavior.
At all.
Truly unacceptable.
Jump out on us.
You're going to get the one, too. All right, let's move on to Ray J. Countersuing Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner following a defamation suit that they recently filed against him. Now, you may recall in filing it, obtained by TMZ, Ray J claims the 2007 sex tape between him and Kim was not leaked without her consent, but was instead consensually shot and released with Kim and Chris's involvement. Wow. What say you about that?
I say, first of all, I think at this point in the game, we all know that you three were in the making of this whole thing. You guys were Destiny's Child. I just don't know who played Beyonce and Kelly with releasing it. Maybe it seems like Ray J is Michelle at this point because he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But honestly, they knew for a fact how they were going to do this orchestrated because that's what helped catapult. So I just want to know to what degree what is he looking for now? How much more? Because they did pay him a $6 million settlement before. I'm wondering, is he looking for another 6? Or is he looking for a deal where every time you mention it, there's to be $1 million deposit? So we'll just see where it's going because they both have some of the best lawyers.
Yeah, you made mention of the $6 million. We now know that court documents have shown that Ray J and Kim reached a settlement where Kim paid him that $6 million and agreed to avoid public references to the tape, a clause Ray J claims the Kardashians have since violated. There's still a lot of back and forth with all of this umpteen years later, or almost 20 years later now.
But they're always asking about it too. You'll see that it gets trickled into how when they have interviews or so at this point versus ignoring it, Kim is just finding a way to make it a humor moment. And I think just by her even doing that is upsetting Mr. Norwood. And we see him out here running them up. So all you did was just add to the muck.
Oh, gosh. All right. Ray J, we wish you well. We'll end with this. A lot of folks jumping for joy. Why? Because Cardi B is officially a mom of 4. The rapper recently announced the birth of her new bundle of joy with her boyfriend, Stephon Diggs. Following the birth of her child, Cardi took to Instagram to open up about entering a new season of her life, saying, quote, starting over is never easy, but it's been so worth it. How cool is that? By the way, this video you're taking a look at right here, this is following her having the baby. Can you believe that? Can you say snatch to Media Prince?
Snatch. And can you say you better be snatched, Guy Lambert? Because I got those tickets. And I think this video reassured all of us fans that she will be ready for tour because for us it felt like, man, this pregnancy's going a little longer. It's almost getting time for rehearsals or tour.
Yeah.
How do we do this? And so the fact that she let us know that the baby is out, and we saw the video from TMZ of her in the gym, I'm like, yes. I'm excited as a fan that, and congratulations on the DMV baby that she just gave birth to. But yeah, get to work, young lady, because I'm looking forward to seeing you in February.
All right. Well, if you're going, I'm going as well. But in the meantime, he's joining us right here in the Live Zone. Media Prince, all things Celebrity Dish right here on the LZ. Always good to see you, my friend.
It's always good to be seen because we are what?
Live in the zone. We'll take a quick break, guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys, just like that, we're back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Time for my favorite segment of the week. What to watch with producer Chris.
And
hello,
we
my
have
friend.
a lot of random things out there now, because we're in that time of year where like holiday movies are starting to come out, and we've got some new reality trash. And you know how
Let's
much
get into it.
I love my reality trash. Look, Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away, and what I am thankful for this year is that the Mormon Wives are back. Season 3 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is what we are talking about. This show has been a runaway hit, whether you like it or not. Bigger even than the Kardashians.
Really?
On Hulu. Yeah, don't tell Kim K, but yeah, they're doing bigger numbers than the Kardashians are these days. And that kind of explains why Whitney and Jen ended up on Dancing with the Stars, and Taylor Frankie Paul is going to be our new Bachelorette. Now, this season is going to pick up right where the last one left off with kind of a major bombshell, cliffhanger involving Jesse and Demi and possible infidelity, emotional affairs, all kinds of stuff involving their time on another reality show that happened off camera, but then they brought, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess, and I am here for every second of it. You can catch season 3 streaming now on Hulu and Disney Plus. And you know this is at the top of my list now that Love is Blind, that train wreck is over.
They should get you to do
back in.
They should get you to do the voiceover for that, because just because of what you just said, I'm going to watch it now.
So
that was awesome.
So I'll just let you know, Nick Viall, who is a former like Bachelor or something like that, he did the reunion, and he also has his own podcast where he talks to a lot of these people, and he does such an excellent job.
Wow.
I really, my message to Nick and Vanessa Lachey is really to take a page from his notebook and really learn how to kind of hold people's feet to the fire at these reunion shows, because he did an excellent job with the season 2 reunion show.
Good stuff.
Back in July. Also on the reality front, Tiffany Haddish going on a real life girls trip. Remember, that's the movie that she was got really famous for. This is a new Peacock series. It's called Tiffany Haddish Goes Off. In it, she takes her 3 real life best friends on a once in a lifetime trip across the continent of Africa. You may have seen some headlines coming out of this one, including her marrying herself.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, so you know, if you like Tiffany Haddish, I think this will be well worth tuning in for. But
I got a question.
Yes, please.
Where did she go on? She go on their honeymoon?
Excellent question. We may find out if you tune into this one. Like I said, you can catch it on Peacock. We've got some other new series that are non-reality based out there this week. And first up, something that might be perfect for fans of Homeland, because this is Claire Danes reuniting with the showrunner from that show. It's called The Beast in Me. She plays a grieving writer who becomes dangerously obsessed with her next door neighbor, played by Matthew Rhys, who happens to be a suspect in his wife's disappearance. You can catch that one on Netflix now. Prime Video has the psychological thriller called Malice. This one stars Jack Whitehall and David Duchovny, who I absolutely love from his X-Files days. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. It tells the story of a male nanny for a wealthy family who starts tearing it apart from the inside. That one's on Prime Video. Apple TV Plus has season 2 of the star-studded retro dramedy Palm Royale. We talked about that one a little earlier this week. And then Paramount Plus has season 2 of Taylor Sheridan's oil tycoon drama Landman.
I love
one's
that
got
show.
Billy Bob Thornton and Demi Moore. So,
wow.
I think it might be his last show for Paramount Plus, because I think he just signed a big deal with another streaming network. So I don't know whether there was some bad blood there after all of the Yellowstone drama, etc. But those are all our new shows. We also have some new movies out. And one documentary that I think a lot of people are excited about, Being Eddie Murphy. Just Being Eddie, about Eddie Murphy. A raw look at the comedy legend, if you will. Anyone out there who knows his stand-up knows what I'm talking about. The new documentary looks back at his life and his career for the first time, really, from Saturday Night Live to his stand-up, his epic stand-up, to his box office blockbusters. We're talking Beverly Hills Cop, we're talking 48 Hours, we're talking The Nutty Professor, Coming to America. I mean, some of the biggest comedies of all time. You can catch this one streaming on Netflix now. And of course, you can't forget as well Shrek. I mean, the voice of Donkey, which you see him doing right there, but also you see it talks to some of his contemporaries, including DC's own Dave Chappelle. So
he has just stood the test of time. I mean, you think for me as a kid, it was probably Beverly Hills Cop.
I mean, it's
but
a
for
masterpiece.
Gen Zers, it's going to be maybe Shrek.
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing. Wow.
You know, and for like some of the millennials out there, like my wife who knew him from Mulan. Remember, he was the voice of the little dragon.
I forgot about that.
He was a kid when he started on SNL, 19 years old in that first season, and he absolutely blew audiences away. They had never seen anything like him before. And I mean, still, some of those skits are some of the best of all time. James Brown in the hot tub. Too hot in the hot tub. I mean, I find myself I mean, The Nutty Professor, another absolute classic. And, you know, Marissa and I were just talking about movies like Dolomite, Dreamgirls. He really can do it all. Have you ever seen this one?
Norbit?
No, it was the one with Steve Martin, where he's supposed to be the action star, who's...
Oh, yeah. It's
Joey, do you remember the name of it? Bowfinger.
Yeah, Bowfinger, you're right. There you go.
It's highly underrated. If you ever get the chance to catch it, I really recommend it. All right, also out there this week, Prime Video has the action comedy Playdate. And you may, look, this sticks to a kind of common formula out there. You team up an action star with a comedian and, you know, Playdate. Kevin James, who you know from King of Queens, and Alan Ritchson, who is the star of Reacher, a show I absolutely love, and he's great in it. That one's on Prime Video. For the kids, Netflix has The Adventure of a Nighttime is the tagline. It's called In Your Dreams. Netflix also has the holiday rom-com A Merry Little Xmas, and this is a little blast from the past. We're talking Alicia Silverstone, Melissa Joan Hart, Oliver Hudson, and Jamila Jamil. That one's out now. And finally, Disney Plus has the holiday road trip original, A Very Jonas Christmas Movie, which features the band of brothers racing home for the holidays. And you know, they're still on tour right now too, but also returning to their Disney roots. Some critics have compared this to, if you've ever seen like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, they complete a show in like Sweden and they're trying to rush home to their loved ones in New York. Hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
As you can imagine. If you like the Jonas Brothers, I think you'll like that.
Yeah. So. They had a tough time early on with regard to that tour because they were doing bigger venues and then remember folks weren't showing up.
So I joked with Annie Mae earlier, who is a fan of the Jonas Brothers, that the joke kind of running around social media is that they may be broke because they are like constantly on tour. Now they're returning to like their Disney roots and things like that. So they're but look, at the same time, they're red hot. So what can you say?
All right, good stuff. And yet again, you have put me in a position where I do not know what I will watch this weekend.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, trust me. Start from the beginning, get caught up. It's worth it.
Joining us with what to watch right here on the Live Zone. Hey, when you get back to your desk, a lot of us are dealing with stress. Apparently, it's going to be a thing of the norm. Holiday stress. We're talking about it next, right here on the Live Zone. All right, folks, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Well, from office parties to fatigue over holiday stress, many find themselves burnt out, upset, and in some cases, bickering and arguing with their colleagues. Joey, put the camera on you real quick as we allude to bickering and arguing with the colleagues. Do we bicker and argue, Joey?
No, we're doing great.
Okay.
We're doing great.
Good stuff. Then perhaps this segment is not for you or I, but let's keep on going. In this case, we're talking about, God forbid, it getting out of hand, and it leads to, dare I say, trading blows at the workplace. You can't do that. Joining us to discuss is Mr. Richard Burke, Chief Architect of JAMS Pathways, the world's leading private provider of alternative dispute resolution services. Mr. Burke, always good to see you, sir, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Guy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I hope it's not a stressful end of the year for you.
So far, so good. And I have a feeling you're going to make it so much better. What are some of the common conflict triggers, if you will, to be aware of during the holidays?
Well, gosh, there's so many things. You know, the things at work, we have shortened months, we need holiday coverage, end of the year budgeting, we're trying to close the books. A lot of people are doing end of the year reviews, and those include things like bonuses and promotions. There's holiday parties, and of course, mixing work and socializing is hard. And then on the personal side, you have visiting relatives, you're spending a lot of money on gifts and food and events. And, you know, I don't know about you, my in-laws are coming to visit for 12 days, and I love my in-laws, but, you know, we've got vegans, and we've got vegetarians, and we got people with turkey, and, you know, I'm hoping that I don't have to mediate something about whether we're going to have marshmallow or no marshmallow on top of the sweet potatoes. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of that comes into the office because we spend a lot of our waking hours in the office. So anything that's happening at home, you know, even if we're thinking about, you hear these stories about like, are my insurance premiums going to go up? You hear about big layoffs. So all that stress makes its way to, you know, a very compressed time at the end of the year when we're trying to get a lot done in months where, you know, we have a Thanksgiving break, we have a Christmas break, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah. You know what, Mr. Burke, I'm thinking about, you know, for this job.
Please call me Rich.
Okay, call me Rich. It sounds even better. Less stressful now. So, Rich, since you and I go way back, I guess I can tell you that, that with this job, folks don't care whether or not you have a good day or a bad day. We got to show up and show out. That's our job, right? I'm thinking about the other folks that perhaps are not in that position, and maybe they're not used to having to show up to work and having to still deal with their colleagues, and they're having a bad day. And so I'm hoping you can give us some tips as to what one can do in order to make sure that they stay on the right path.
Sure. So I'm going to put these in three buckets. First one's going to be lay a strong foundation. Second one's going to be up your game. And the third is know when to ask for help. So lay a foundation. You know, it helps if you're going to be a conflict resolution expert, whether you're a manager or whether you're just dealing with your peers. Get trained in the skills of a mediator, learn how to facilitate a conversation, learn how to negotiate from a place of interest, not positions. When you ask for something, typically there's something underneath it that's your want, and that's more flexible. A position is a little bit more rigid, that's hard. I think it helps to learn a little bit about neurodiversity. We talk about different kinds of minds, and you know, we know that there's an awful lot of people out there who just think differently than we do. And so there's a lot of great information about how to do that. Learn how to have difficult conversations and get people trained up in the office. The more conflict resolvers you have in the office, the better. So I think it's a really good thing for management to invest in conflict resolution training for everybody in the workforce. Yeah. We spend a lot of time at JAMS, at Pathways, with our clients doing custom trainings to help people work better together. And even just the act of doing the training helps people communicate. Yeah. The second thing I'd say about laying a foundation is you want to take something called psychological safety very seriously. And that's all about making sure if somebody has a new idea, it gets listened to, not shot down. If somebody has a critique, that they can offer that and, you know, make things better without feeling like it's going to come back and haunt them. And of course, people don't want to have to deal with negative personal comments. You know, this happens all over in every industry. I'm working currently with a large hospital team and a large government agency on how to make the employees feel more at home and more engaged in their work. So that's the first thing, lay a foundation.
Absolutely love it. Rich, I wish we had more time, but we're going to have to leave it there. If folks want to find out more information, how would one go about to get just that?
You can reach out to jamspathways.com, look us up. We have lots of information for you, and so we could talk to you about listening well, about making conflict work for you. And of course, when you're in over your head, know when to call in a pro. So, Guy, always a pleasure. I hope you have a great rest of the year.
Yeah, and I hope the in-laws, I hope that thing works out for you. Just woo.
It will. They're great. They're great.
Good stuff.
I have to say that, right?
You got to. Always good to see you. Well, between election year stress, shorter days, and yes, as you just heard Rich mention, the start of the holiday chaos, most of us could use a little reset right now. That's why Resort Pass, the platform known for day access to luxury hotel pools, spas, and other amenities, now inviting locals across the DMV to take part in, shall we say, the wellness reset. Joining us to discuss this and so much more is Anina Bell Gionini on the Live Zone. Did I get the name correct?
Almost.
Oh, shoot. I've been practicing for the last 5 minutes. I stand corrected.
Thank you, Guy.
Do tell. Please correct me.
No, Anina Belgianini, and I'm thrilled to meet you. Thank you very much for having us on.
Oh, but of course. I'm really so glad that you're here. It's because this is such a vital part of so many folks' lives, and that is to make sure that we reset. You heard my conversation with Rich just a second ago, and obviously so many of us are stressed out, but here you come to the rescue. Folks that are hearing about Resort Pass for the first time, what should we know?
I think it's incredible to remember that Resort Pass is offering a great way to save on self-care, especially at a moment where we need self-care more than ever, but yet wallets are tight. And so Resort Pass is offering access to hotel amenities such as spas, pools, steam rooms, saunas for a fraction of the cost. And right now in the DC market, they have a Resort Pass Spa Week where you can save 10% off any bookings on resortpass.com with the code RPDC, and that's just for DC.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. Gosh, I guess it's been, 2 or 3 months since I got a chance to visit Miami. And when I go to Miami, I'll pop up at, let's say, the Fontainebleau, or however you pronounce it, that hotel. But you get a chance to enjoy all the amenities. But what if I'm not staying there? This, in some way, form, or fashion, would still allow me to, let's say, hang out at the pool or enjoy the spa. I absolutely love this. And it's making it really affordable, is it not?
Absolutely. And in Miami, Resort Pass is very well installed in the market and has been there for a long time. We're newer in the DMV. And so there's an incredible opportunity for people to go visit the Omni Shoreham, to visit the Argenta Spa, the Four Seasons Baltimore, the Ritz-Carlton Tysons, Balian Springs, all at incredible offers with Resort Pass.
Yeah.
And I do encourage people to go to resortpass.com, sign up for Black Friday, because there's going to be incredible Black Friday deals coming as well.
Really? Okay. You got my attention. Hoping you can tell us about a gift card option as well.
Absolutely. So it's the great gift to give someone who has everything. And you sign up at Resort Pass and you can offer gift cards for your friends and family, especially for people that are maybe having a bit of a hard time this holiday season, and to give them the gift of a day pass at a spa versus a full treatment. And you're able to save and offer incredible self-care with that.
Yeah. What are the folks saying? People that you encounter that have actually used this service, what have they said to you?
People are so excited about it. We just recently did the Marine Corps Marathon, and we were there and we spoke to thousands of people, or we supported the Napkin Network Lunch, which is supporting local moms in need during this trying time. And they were so excited to say, oh, I use Resort Pass. I booked my friend's getaway with Resort Pass. I booked my honeymoon, pre-honeymoon escape with Resort Pass. So I think that it's really exciting to see how we connect with people, and really excited to see how it's growing in the DMV.
I cannot wait to utilize the service. Once again, it's entitled Resort Pass. Folks that want to find out more information, how would they do so?
Go to resortpass.com and download the app.
Absolutely love it. Yet again, we've been speaking with Anina Bell Gionini. I got it right that time, did I?
Sort of.
All right, shame on me. I'll work on it. We'll have you back. That's what you get as a result of this. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Zone. You bet.
Have a great day.
You too. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Hey, on the flip side of that break, it's the big story in the world of politics. In this case, President Trump now asking the Department of Justice to, really follow up on President, shall we say, Clinton and his involvement with the Epsteins. You'll hear about that next, right here on the Live Zone. All right, folks, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. It is now 1:02. Yes, 2 minutes past the top of the hour. It's the big story of the hour. In this case, President Trump says he will ask Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's ties to many other high-profile figures, including some of his perceived political opponents. Again, blasting Democrats following the release earlier this week of emails from the late Epstein that mention him. Joining us to discuss this and so much more is Miss Andrea Kaye from The Andrea Kaye Show and political strategist back here on the Live Zone. Hello, my friend. Always good to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too as well. And if it wasn't raining here in San Diego, I might be using my resort pass here to have some fun this weekend.
Well, I tell you one thing, not only would you use it, but you'd probably get her name right. So,
yeah.
At least I got yours. So, obviously, this is a big story. A lot of folks talking about this, some saying that President Trump really trying to divert all of the attention that happens to be on him to the Democrats, in this case, former President Bill Clinton, now asking, as you heard me say, the Department of Justice to investigate. Your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts are it's such projection to say that this is deflection from Trump. Look, they leaked those selectively redacted emails on the eve of the government reopening because the Democrats got their hats handed to them. They inflicted pain on the American people and got nothing, using the federal workers as pawns in order to inflict pain on people for power. And when it didn't work, they decided to deflect and bring up Epstein again. And it already backfired against him in a variety of ways. The emails they released, they intentionally redacted the name of the victim, which was Virginia Giuffre, who has said over and over and over again that President Trump never behaved in any way that was untoward, let alone illegal. But Democrats, if you're really interested in the full release of everything, why did Tim Burchett joined Ro Khanna with a UC, a unanimous consent to release all the files, and it was the Democrats who blocked it. Why? Look, this is all about trying to, again, besmirch President Trump, falsely accuse him of crimes committed against young women in connection with Epstein. As for President Trump calling for an investigation with the Department of Justice, he's doing something differently with the Department of Justice than what happened under the Biden administration. He's following probable cause. We have probable cause to have Bill Clinton investigated, and not just because of the big oil painting showing Clinton in a blue dress hanging in Epstein's house, but all the times he flew on the Lolita Express down to Epstein's island. One thing that joins both Democrats and Republicans is that Ghislaine Maxwell, why is she the only one that's gone to prison? What about all the men that committed these crimes against young women? They're the ones that need to be held accountable for. And if that includes Bill Clinton, then it includes Bill Clinton.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what unfolds sometime in the near future surrounding all of this. We do know that the president, he does not have any public appearances scheduled for today. However, he is due to fly to Florida, and perhaps he will address several reporters when doing just that. Let's talk about the government shutdown, which, yes, it's come and gone, but for some, the ramifications of the shutdown will last for quite some time. For instance, federal workers are still awaiting back pay, and air travel disruptions are expected to linger. It's all over, Andrea, but for so many that are still waiting on that paycheck and are still dealing with, the shutdown that lasted 43 days, it's going to take some time to get back on track.
Well, it absolutely is. And I applaud the $10,000 bonus checks that were given out to air traffic controllers that stayed on the job. But what about all the TSA agents that continue to work, like the ones that I ran into on my way to DC and back a couple of weeks ago, that were just absolutely suffering? So many of the federal workers had to, while they were staying on the job, ended up having to take extra jobs, side hustles to make ends meet. You know, are they going to now have to give up those jobs? What happens with that? So many of them had to take out loans in order to make their car payments. The repercussions of this are very real, and these are not repercussions that any of the Democrats had to suffer. They got their paychecks. Where is the repercussions on them? And I know that they're trying to frame this, continuing to try to frame it as though this was a Republican-led shutdown. They've been on record saying it's the only leverage they have, and they have also been very critical of the Democrats that voted to reopen the government. So all the pain is on the Democrats.
Well, it's reopened, but yet again, we now know that it could yet again shut down come January 30th if both sides don't play nice. The likelihood of that happening.
Well, I don't think it's very likely it's going to happen because there's no way that anybody can have any excuses to shut down the government again, including the Democrats. There's going to be a vote on the subsidies. The Republican Party, Speaker Johnson and Leader Thune have said that they've been working on some alternatives and ways to dismantle the obvious failure of the Unaffordable Care Act. Here you've got the Democrats that shoved Obamacare down the throats of the American people, crying about how our healthcare system is broken. Well, you broke it. You're the reason why it's unaffordable. And unfortunately, it is a mess. And unfortunately, the Republican Party didn't really, during Trump's first administration, it was the Republican Party with Paul Ryan and John McCain that failed the American people at that time to overturn it. And I do see the wheels turning to unravel or begin to unravel this horrible healthcare system that was forced upon us.
All right, we got time for one more. In this case, we now know that the Trump administration plans to ease tariffs for 4 Latin American nations. Yesterday, the White House announced that it had agreed to the frameworks for trade deals with Argentina, Guatemala, Ecuador, and El Salvador. The deal will remove tariffs on certain foods and other products not produced in the U.S. in large enough numbers. Yet again, so many folks are stating this is a good thing. However, critics of the president saying this is the wrong thing to do.
Well, why would it be the wrong thing to do to implement free market principles and strategies in order to try to create the conditions on the ground that lower prices instead of the government deciding to come in and seize grocery stores and dictating what prices will be, which ends up resulting, as we've seen in Venezuela, with empty shelves? President Trump has used tariffs as well as taxation and lowering regulations as critical tools to make conditions on the ground better for Americans, like he did the first time around, which led to an unprecedented economic revival in the country. It's harder now to do it because we had 4 years of intentional inflation on us, and it was just a wrecking ball, and it's just harder and going to take a little bit longer for these free market principles to take place. But we're already seeing in my grocery stores, even out here in California, I'm already seeing a lot lower prices. And we're already seeing wages go up. We're already seeing more American workers back in the workplace. So it might take a little bit longer than the first go round, but it's working.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Yet again, Andrea Kaye joining us on the Live Zone. Make it a great weekend, Andrea. Truly appreciate your time.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Well, it's one of the other big stories. The BBC apologizing to President Trump over an edit, but they refuse to pay compensation. We'll discuss that next, right here on the Live Zone. All right, folks, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Well, the BBC has apologized to President Trump for an episode that spliced parts of his January 6, 2021 speech together, but rejected his demands for compensation. The corporation said the edit had given the mistaken impression that President Trump had made a direct call for violent action and said it would not show the 2024 program ever again. Joining us to discuss this is Mr. William Barclay. He recently published an article about this in the Western Standard. He now joins us right here on the Live Zone. Mr. Barclay, good to see you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Thank you all so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be back with you. I just want to give a little shout out to everyone at the Western Standard. You guys are the best newspaper out in Canada, in my opinion. I encourage everyone to go check them out.
So let's but of course, let's jump right into this. There are so many folks that are still trying to wrap their heads around this. Obviously, the BBC, very prominent in Europe. Folks that do not watch that news outlet and hopefully watch us right here at Fox. Tell us how we got to this point.
Well, unfortunately, the BBC's campaign of disinformation against President Trump and the right wing of the political spectrum, well, it's not really an isolated incident or even uncommon in the UK. Rather, all right-wing politics and conservative values have become openly attacked and oppressed as a result of the hyper-left-wing ideology and fascist politics that currently dominate British society. I mean, firstly, all right-wing political discourse and commentary is relentlessly censored and oppressed. I think it's 30 people are arrested every day in the UK for petty offences such as retweets and cartoons. And newspapers, news media organisations throughout the UK, like the BBC, overwhelmingly refuse to feature conservative viewpoints and routinely manipulate public discourse in order to misconstrue all right-wing ideology as inherently violent and undemocratic. Moreover, right-wing political actors are severely persecuted and oppressed in the UK. For instance, Graham Linehan, an Irish writer and critic of the hyper-liberal ideology that currently dominates the UK, well, he was confronted by 5 armed guards at London Heathrow Airport and arrested for inciting violence due to the fact that on Twitter, or X, he was openly critical of so-called trans-identified males and female-only spaces. Finally, left-wing politicians and then the media edifices that dominate the UK government, well, they've shamelessly abused the UK's laws and fundamental democratic processes in an effort to extinguish all right-wing ideology and politics throughout the United Kingdom. For example, Christian ideology and conservative religious discourse has been openly persecuted. And in 2023 alone, actually, the UK government leveraged warped interpretations of vague laws that criminalize things like annoyance and anxiety in order to wrongfully arrest over 12,000 people. 12,000!
But with that, Mr. Barclay, and not to cut you off, but I just have a little bit of time, and I want to make sure that we cover the entire story. And so I fully understand what you're saying, but I also want to make sure that the viewers understand what happens next. Meaning that the BBC has apologized to President Trump, but they say we're not going to compensate you in any way, form, or fashion. Is that the right thing for the BBC to do, in your mind?
No, absolutely not. Like, I think the BBC needs to come clean and own up to what they've done. I think it's a little bit of too little, too late. I think what we've seen is mirrored around the world in countries like the U.S. as this bone-like ghoul of populism has been invoked and trotted out in an effort to frighten and shame people away from the right wing of the political spectrum and ignore the bedrock of any democracy. It's people, and there needs to be a profound apology for that.
All right. Well, we'll have to leave it there. Yet again, this is something that will continue to unfold right before our very eyes. I'm really curious as to what will happen. We know that the president, obviously, he has won a plethora, if you will, of lawsuits in the past targeting media outlets and or institutions. And so perhaps the BBC is his next target. We'll have to wait and see. Mr. Barclay, folks that want to find out more information about you, how would one go about to do so?
They can check me out on Twitter at Will Barclay at PCBG, or you guys can stop by the Western Standard, where I'm the parliamentary correspondent, and you can find all my articles for the Western Standard over there. Thank you guys so much.
Good stuff. Always good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us on the Live Zone. All right, folks, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, folks, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Well, the YMCA of Metropolitan Washington in Jula partner to host Drinking to Defeat Parkinson's. It all takes place tomorrow at the YMCA Arlington Tennis and Pickleball Center. Proceeds from this event will go towards the YMCA programs that help local residents living with Parkinson's disease improve their strength, balance, and quality of life through the power of movement. Joining us to discuss this and so much more is Tessa Mork, Associate Director, and Kristen Lorick, both of which are kind enough to join me right here on the Live Zone. Ladies, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
But of course, I got to tell you, this is not only needed, it is wanted in a major way. I absolutely love what you all are doing. It all takes place tomorrow. Folks that are hearing about this for the first time, do tell. Tessa, let's begin with you.
Sure. So the Y is so happy to be stepping up for folks with Parkinson's. In 2024, we launched Pedaling for Parkinson's, and the program is working. 96% of our participants say it's improved their quality of life, and so we're really excited to launch our Pickleball for Parkinson's program.
Yeah, but this is not only just folks gathering, but it's gathering for a party with a purpose, as I like to say. And you all will feature a silent auction of some sort, and I'm so curious to find out what it is that you all are auctioning off.
Yeah, I'm happy to chime in here. So we have dozens of items. Some include Yola pickleball paddles, a signed pickleball paddle by world #1 pro Federico Staksrud, and also an opportunity to play on court with 3 of the top ranked Yola pickleball pros. We also have other opportunities that aren't just pickleball. You can do some wineries, dinner with the family, many items. So go online at www.ymcadc.org/pickleball to go bid on an item or join us at our event tomorrow.
Yeah. Yet again, we're talking about the YMCA of Metropolitan Washington and Yola partnering for Drinking to Defeat Parkinson's. Why is this so near and dear to your heart? And that is, you know, they say there's no dumb question, but I have to pose it to really combat Parkinson's.
Sure. There are currently 1 million Americans living with Parkinson's disease, and approximately 90,000 new cases are diagnosed each year. It's a progressive condition that impacts movement, coordination, and balance. And at the Y, we believe movement is medicine, so we thought we would step up here.
Yeah, and stepping up in a major way. Oh, by the way, the weather tomorrow is supposed to be picture perfect, at least for this time of the year. And so with that being said, give us a sneak peek as to what's to be expected when I arrive tomorrow. When I show up, what am I going to be surrounded by? What will I see?
Yeah, of course. So the event kicks off at 9 a.m. at the YMCA Arlington Tennis and Pickleball Center, and it starts with a free open to the community pro exhibition where you can watch these pros compete live on our YMCA pickleball courts. Following the exhibition will be a clinic and a round robin where you can learn from and play alongside the pros.
So is it too late for me to show up? Do I have to sign up, or can I just show up in a major way and take part?
Yeah, you can go ahead and show up for our free 9 a.m. Exhibition with the pros, but after that, our clinic and round robin, you do have to sign up online by clicking the event banner on our website, www.ymcadc.org/pickleball.
Yeah, what you all are doing over there is really amazing, and I truly appreciate you all giving back in a major way. You're really making a difference, and if someone hasn't told you that, I want you to know that. Thank you so much for what you all do.
Thank you.
You bet. Yeah. Yet again, it's all taking place tomorrow. If you haven't already done so, write it down. Not now, but right now. It's at the YMCA Arlington Tennis and Pickleball Center, 3422 13th Street in North Arlington. Make sure you show up and show out. Speaking of showing up and showing out, earlier today, our own Stephanie Ramirez had an opportunity to do just that. Yes, Christmas time is here, which means, ice is back in a major way at the National Harbor. Stephanie Ramirez got a sneak peek. Take a look.
Well, guys, it is a warm 9 degrees inside here, but look how cool. Everyone's excited because this is the interactive exhibit for ice here at the Gaylord Resort at National Harbor. And I have with me the director here, special events, Mr. Andres Gallo. Thank you for talking with us this morning. So how excited are you for this year's ice exhibit?
We're very excited to bring the Polar Express to our guests for the first time at this location. It is one of our largest shows, again, featuring that iconic train in the movie. It's 12 feet tall, those 2 million pounds of ice, so our guests can walk through the story and then make those memories.
What's your favorite scene?
The slide room is iconic in this show, so we look forward to seeing those reactions from our guests.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll get to see that.
And look at all the detail here. This is just amazing. How does this come to be?
We bring a team of 40 artisans from Harbin, China, which is basically the ice capital of the world, where the ice show is, and they carve continuously for 33 days, using different types of ice. You'll see the clear ice, the color ice, and all that ice is made differently.
So they'll dye it then? And then bring it in here to carve?
The blocks come in either clear ice, color ice, or the frosty ice. And again, depending on what type of ice, it is all made differently. It's a different process. Some take longer, some are faster. It's the color ice is actually food coloring.
I did hear some carving just now, so you still have people on site working.
Absolutely. We actually have a live carving demonstration area in the exhibit, so our guests can see those carvers and how it all happens, how it all comes to life.
That's amazing. So today is the official grand opening. How excited are you for that?
Very excited for our guests to come through and see it. We're going to be here until January 4th. And our guests can purchase those tickets at Christmas@GaylordNational.com.
Getting everyone excited for the holiday season.
Yes, we are.
Can't believe it's here. Thank you so much for talking with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you for
You have a
being
great
here.
holiday season as well, guys. We'll send it back to you.
Funny, I could tell Stephanie wanted to send it back to me a lot earlier. Why? Because it is freezing, literally below freezing in that freezer. I think it's minus 15 degrees, if my memory serves me correct. Producer Joey joining us as well. Joey, it's so funny. I asked you while we were watching Stephanie's report, have you ever gone in the past?
I might have, but I was either too young or too cold to remember. It's one of those things where it might just... I mean, it sounds great. It looks great. It looks really interesting. Polar Express was what was said?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And, you know, so many folks think it's just for the kiddos. That's not necessarily the case. At least I consider myself an adult. Height-wise, maybe not. But, yeah, I have a lot of fun when I go, and I would really encourage you to do so as well. I don't think I've missed not 1 year in the past decade that they've set up there. Just make sure you dress warm. So
I'll do it. I'll wear. I got long underwear for this specifically.
Oh gosh, that's needed. All right, folks, we'll take a quick break. Hey, on the flip side of that break, she's the newest pop sensation, Ashley Keating. She dropped a brand new song today, over 3 million followers. I mean, she is a hit. You're going to meet her. And we're also talking about the Commanders. Yeah, they're going to take on the Miami Dolphins, going down in Madrid. Chad Ricardo with his report coming up shortly, right here on the Live Zone. Now that's how you get into the holiday spirit. The name of the song, Slay All Day. The artist, none other than Ashley Keating. She joins us now right here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Good to see you, Ashley. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited. I've been waiting to conduct this interview all day long. I got to let the folks know who you are. And, well, quite honestly, if you don't, you're crawling from under a rock. Excuse me, because you are following the momentum of Too Toxic, a track that made huge waves this year by blending your smooth vocals with the iconic Britney Spears sample. We're taking a look at it right now. I absolutely love this, by the way. So, Ashley, I got to tell you, being new on the scene, producing music, putting your baby out, as we like to call it, because it's all you. What's the experience been like thus far?
You know, it's been incredible. It's been incredible. I'm a South Jersey girl. I make pop music, and I am just so excited to be here right now. I'm so honored to be here, and I really just want to inspire the world with my gifts and keep putting my art out there.
Yeah. By the way, I love what you got going on, your whole surroundings. It just makes me feel very holiday-ish, if you will. The song dropped today, and it's entitled, yet again, Slay All Day. The inspiration behind it all.
Yeah, slay all day. I mean, I say slay all day with my friends all the time. And so it was my way of just creating a holiday anthem that makes you feel good, makes you want to dance. And I kind of took the idea of sleigh ride and was like, slay all day. How incredible is that idea? And also, I performed at Kathy Hilton's Christmas in September, and I kept saying it all the time in September. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should make a song about that, make a Christmas anthem. So here we are, with Slay All Day.
I tell you what, by about midnight tonight, that's all I'm going to say. Slay all day. I guarantee you.
Yes, slay.
So how has your life changed? I mean, you have more than 2.5 million Spotify streams, over nearly 500,000 followers on Instagram. I mean, at one point, this was all a dream, and now it's become a reality for you.
Yeah, it's incredible. I try not to think too hard about it, and I am just enjoying every single moment, hoping I inspire the world and bring my light. That's what I do this for. So I'm just so incredibly excited. Slay All Day, you know, hopefully will become that. It's becoming that Christmas anthem, you know, and I have so much I'm getting ready for in 2026 that I can't talk about just yet, but I'm so excited. So this is just the beginning.
You know, I'm so glad you said that, because I have in my notes, I think what we can't say, and I was going to say it. So that's what we call a tease to the viewers, which means they have to continue to follow you in a major way. Your style is known as somewhat of an R&B style to catchy pop productions. What would you call that? Is there a certain name for that?
I'm gonna let you know. But I like to put my Ashley sauce, also bringing in my song Saucy, because I got some sauce, I got some flavor, and that is definitely from me being from South Jersey and New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl. I like to bring that flavor. And I like to Ashleyfy things. That's what I say. So,
well,
you know.
I can tell you after this interview, I think I've been Ashleyfied.
Slay all day, babe.
Who was your inspiration early on?
Wow. I have been inspired by so many artists. I can't even tell. Obviously, of course, one of them is the icon, legendary Britney Spears. She was the very first concert I ever went to. I love Beyonce, J-Lo, Christina Aguilera, Rihanna, Aretha Franklin, man, Elvis. I mean, there's just literally Michael Jackson. It goes way back. It goes way back because I love that era, all the eras. And I just incorporate a lot of like soulfulness because I have a soulful voice as well. So yeah. Just a lot of the icons, the pop divas, the legends, you know, the queens.
And if all plays out, that your name will be perhaps amongst them one day. I mean, that would just be so awesome.
That is the goal.
There's a little girl watching right now, and she's looking at you, and she's saying, you know what, I want to do that. I want to be just like her. Can you talk about what you went through in order to get to this point and to really encourage her to keep on moving forward so perhaps she can be just like you?
Oh, that's so sweet. This is literally what I do this for, and I really hope to inspire the world with my light and my gifts. And I've been through a lot growing up in my career, but I've continued to persevere. I think resilience is everything. And once you set your mind to something, and if you really, really want it, you can go after it and you can make it happen. So just keep working hard, keep working on your craft, and be the best version of yourself. That's all you can do, but just keep working hard. That's the most important thing. And don't give up.
Yeah. All right. And with that, I got to ask you, milk or cookies?
Oh, you gotta ask that. I like both, man. I would say a warm chocolate chip cookie is it.
Okay. Yeah. See, I knew I liked you. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength. I think I'm going to pass on the milk. I'll take a beer instead, for me, at least. Folks, if you haven't already done so, make sure you download the song. It's entitled Slay All Day. And as she said, you have now been Ashley-fied in a major way. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This was really cool. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're
Slay.
welcome. All right, folks. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hey guys, just like that, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. So the countdown is on. You hear it? Yep, that's my clock ticking. Counting down to what? The Commanders, of course, taking on the Miami Dolphins. It happens this upcoming Sunday, 9:30 a.m., which, by the way, you could watch right here on Fox 5. Prior to that, at 9 a.m., our very own Chad Ricardo, well, he has a special show live from Madrid. Well, earlier today, he joined us and had this to say.
I don't know if you knew, but there's a big football game going down on Sunday, and all these Worcester Commanders fans are here to celebrate. Now, we're at a fan rally, and this fan rally has been going on for the last 2 hours. We've had a line around the building all afternoon long. Commanders fans travel phenomenally. Sir, you're in the shot. It's okay. Since you're here, sir. Wait, I asked the question, sir. Sir, we're here at this fan rally. Why did you have to come out here today?
Because of you guys, because the Commanders, man. We got to support them.
We got to support them.
I grew up watching Dale Green and Art Monk, man. Dale Green was my man, so, you know, out here.
That gentleman is taking the mic from me. I'll come to you now. Traveling all the way here to Madrid, why is this a trip that you had to make?
This is just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us fans. I flew in from San Diego.
Wow.
So this is just a great camaraderie with all the fans, and we're all excited to be here.
And you, ma'am, as well, we are here supporting this team. Why was this important to you?
Exactly like she said, once in a lifetime, and we have to support our team near and far. So here we are.
We're supporting them near and far. And you, sir, I'm coming over here to you. Now there are people who said, oh, the Commanders have lost 5 games in a row. I'm not going to. Are we still out here?
We still going to grip that butt. We're going to whip that butt on Sunday. We're going to whip that butt.
So on Sunday, guys, are the Dolphins going to win? So if the Dolphins aren't going to win, are the Commanders excitement here. Again, the fan rally is going down local time from noon until 4. The Commanders fans have packed this place all afternoon long. One more time, guys, make some noise! Nobody.
Now that's what you call a party. I guarantee there is no one that has more energy than Chad Ricardo. That guy is having an amazing time. And yet again, he is in Madrid, Spain, as the Commanders are set to take on the Dolphins. You could watch that game right here on Fox 5 beginning at 9:30. Well, every Monday morning, we get asked the same question. What did you do this weekend? The same answer? Nothing. The usual. Well, let's change that. There are low-cost ways to make the weekend exciting again and boost happiness and even improve your health at the same time. Hence, enter my next guest. I'm referring to Dr. Jeffrey DeSarbo. He's a neuropsychiatrist and author of The Neuroscience of a Bucket List. He now joins us right here on the Live Zone. Doctor, good to see you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Guy. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, I got to tell you, this is so important. You were discussing all things around, boosting happiness and even, improving health at the same time. Do tell.
Well, I think the main thing is, when for the past year, I've been really working on promoting, kind of trying to be the torchbearer of my father's legacy, who taught me about living life with a bucket list, which is living life a little bit differently as much as possible, because novelty is always something that stimulates the brain. It keeps it healthy as we age. And when we start to see things we do in our everyday lives as special moments and bucket list opportunities, we feel more gratitude. And I think it counterbalances all the stress in the world today.
One of the things that you have focused on, you say is so important, is the pattern interrupt principle. Can you expand on that?
Sure. Pattern interrupt is when the brain keeps going too much in the same direction, our routine. And that's why classically, like on a Sunday night, we often fall into this pattern of thinking about the next day, the end of the weekend, and we go through that next day of preparing in the morning with our basic showers, going to work or whatever we have to do. And our brain starts to get too used to it. It loses its own curiosity. And pattern interrupt is making an effort intentionally to keep life interesting by doing new things, whether it's taking a different route on your road to work, trying a different coffee at your local coffee shop, or sometimes just during your lunch break doing something that isn't typical, but maybe thinking about it a day in advance.
But wait, there's more. Then there happens to be the power of anticipation. I'm curious about this one.
Right. Well, when someone's working on their bucket list, it automatically starts to increase our neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin and acetylcholine, and it has this very positive impact on the brain. It gets us kind of excited, and we start wiring ourselves a little differently. And that's one of the things that, again, as we age, some of that wiring can start to fall apart if we don't take an intentional approach to trying to plan things we want to have in our personal lives.
Yeah, yet again, so important, and that's why we're so glad we have you joining us right here on the Live Zone. One of the things that you're also going to talk about, which I hope you really touch on, is the low-cost, high-reward ideas. And that is, yet again, we're approaching the weekend, and so I'm looking for something to do. I don't want it to be too expensive, but I want it to be a lot of fun. I need the big reward.
Well, I think the best thing is you're in Washington. There's so much to do that's actually free. I remember the last time I went to Washington, and I had on my bucket list, I wanted to visit the Library of Congress, and I got a card in advance for free and could actually go into the Thomas Jefferson building from 1987, sitting at the desk and the chairs that had presidents like Wilson and Teddy Roosevelt and JFK, Oliver Wendell Holmes. They all sat there. And when you sit there, it's almost like something comes over you. And there are so many things that are just in your area that sometimes you don't think about doing. And even if you know you're there, until you experience those little things, which can cost next to nothing, they're more powerful than some of the greatest trips and adventures you can plan.
Yeah, not only that, but we should make mention that the museums are now reopened yet again because the government shutdown has now come to an end. All right, so one of the things that you also stress is, hey, why don't you try something new, but do it together, perhaps with your significant other.
Yeah, especially when you can share those bucket list experiences, it just enhances it more. And I talk about how that's the neurochemical oxytocin, which is really our emotional bonding hormone. So sharing it with a person who means something to you, your best friends, your family, planning activities together, doing something, again, that something new. That's the word novelty all the time I'm talking about. Something different, even if it's going to a new restaurant, trying an Ethiopian cuisine, going to a different museum, or going to a different exhibit in the museum. Those things, just doing them as collectively, has so much more power than even doing them by yourself. And that's the importance of that social integration, which we're just falling apart with in today's technical society as well. So
yeah, whenever I'm lucky enough to have an author on the show, I always pose the question, your favorite chapter and why?
My favorite chapter is probably not the favorite chapter most. I love the neuroscience part. I am a geek in that way. And that's why I love what I do, is studying the brain. But in my book, there's so many chapters on actually how do you structure a bucket list, why it's important. And I have to kind of bribe people chapter 3, when I start talking about the brain, telling them, don't skip these next couple of chapters, because if make it a bucket list item to learn about the brain, you'll know, you read these couple of chapters, you'll know more than 95% of the people in the world about the brain and how your brain works. So that's my favorite chapter, although I know a lot of people simply love the introduction. So,
well, I'll tell you one thing, I cannot wait to get my hands on it so I can discover all of it for myself. Yet again, the book is entitled The Neuroscience of a Bucket List. It is authored by none other than Dr. Jeffrey DeSarbo. He was kind enough to join us on the Live Zone. Thank you so very much, sir. I truly enjoyed this.
Thank you very much. Great to be with you, Guy.
You bet. All right, folks, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, guys, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. It is now 1:49, 11 minutes away from the take. You can watch that right here on Fox 5. You can put the camera back on. Your producer, Joey, joining us yet again for some of our talkers. What's going on, my man?
Okay, so yesterday on Twitter, there was this, people got in an argument, and then some guy was kind of sounding off like, you don't want to cross me, I'm too tough, I'm from Navy Yard. To which someone quote tweeted, wait, you're from Navy Yard? You said you're from Navy Yard. Do people, all right, you live in Navy Yard, Guy. Has anyone ever said they're from Navy Yard?
No, but put the picture back up again real quick. Let me see this comment.
Oh, yeah.
This is hilarious to me.
This also blew up this week, but it's just being used as the reaction image to talking about being from Navy Yard.
Well, for the record, yes, I do live in the Navy Yard, and no, you don't say I'm from the Navy Yard. I just say I live, in the Navy Yard, and so that's like saying I don't know.
Well, I actually made a list of things.
Did you?
Like saying, yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in the barrio, in the Heights, in the Friendship Heights. Stay out of Metro Center, or as we called it growing up, the Cent. Some people say they're from 2 cities, but for me, it was a tale of 3 cities. Archives, Navy Memorial, and Penn Quarter. And that's the kind of thing we're talking about here.
Oh, gosh. You know what's funny about that? And I can say this because I live in the Navy Yard. Folks that typically live there, one would assume that they are somewhat privileged. I mean, it's a nice area. So I don't know if you want to say I'm from the Navy Yard. And that's another thing. I don't know of anyone who actually happen to be born. The Navy Yard is new the way it is. Yeah. So, you can't really say, in that case, you would say I'm from the Southeast.
It was just Southeast. Yeah. The whole thing was Southeast. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, one more time. Let me see my guy again. I just absolutely love looking at this. By the way, this is from... This was a clip that Shamari Stone interviewed someone, and I believe it was referencing a young teenage girl that something bad happened, but he was making reference to, where are your parents? And that's exactly the facial expression he used. He said, where are her parents?
Where are your parents?
And that's the facial expression
he sentiment
used.
A lot of people had. Where are the parents?
Oh, gosh. Where are the folks that are really from the Navy Yard? We got time for one more. John.
All right. This one's about me. A new research shows more younger generations are choosing to vacation on cruises. The Cruise Lines International Association says 36% of cruisers are now under the age of 40.
Wow.
That number was just 25% a decade ago. Most of the under 40 crowd who have tried cruising say they'll return. Experts say, in the cruise industry, Gen Zers and millennials want seamless, hassle-free vacations.
Wow.
We do a lot of young people do this, young people do that. This one is actually about me. Young people, me, do love cruises. I'm going on one Memorial. Oh my God, they have everything you ever need. They just lay it out for you. You don't even have to think.
Wow. That's so interesting. Times have definitely changed. I travel a lot. I've never been on a cruise. I can honestly say that. Back in my day, no, that was something our grandparents would do. And, you'd watch grandma and grandpa go off on a cruise. But perhaps the cruises nowadays are a lot cooler. And to your point, you could drink as much as you want to drink, eat as much as you want to eat. And I think it also depends on where you're going.
Yeah. Open bar, pool, destination, beach, hot tub. Another pool. There are usually several pools. The first casino I ever went to in my life was in a cruise ship. In international waters, the 18-year-old gambling rule takes over usually, so younger kids are able to do that. It was interesting. And my second one was Monte Carlo in Monaco, which was a bit of a change of pace there.
I think I need to... that was definitely a flex in a major way. Well, yet again, little old me. I've yet to go on a cruise, so perhaps when I grow up, I want to be just like you, Joey.
Oh, yeah, Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I want to take it.
By the way, let us know how that works out for you. Gen Zers now embarking on cruises. That just about wraps it up for us, guys. What a great week. Joey, it's been, 2 weeks now since you've been here? 3 weeks?
Since I took over the show 3 weeks, it was my 1 month work anniversary yesterday, though.
Well, happy anniversary. You are, a lot of folks love seeing producer Joey make a cameo.
Oh, that makes one of you.
All right, folks, if you haven't already done so, make sure you download the Fox Local app. Real quick, this weekend, I want to remind you, Chad Ricardo, a special Commander show, 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Obviously, the Commanders are going to take on the Miami Dolphins. It's all happening in Madrid. If you saw his report he filed just a minute ago, it is full of energy and then some. And I guarantee you that show on Sunday, you're going to get a chance to see the same thing following the game right here on Fox 5. Coming up next, The Take, all things interesting. I got a chance to take a peek at some of the topics. I think you're really going to like them. Controversial, to say the least, but what do I know? You have to watch it in order to find out. Until then, tell a friend, bring a friend. We do it each and every Monday through Friday, 12 to 2. Yet again, download the Fox Local app so that way you can take us with you. The Take, coming up next, right here on Fox 5.